ang radyo.
Manila Broadcasting Company.
Ang Dibisyon ng Biliran Alternative Learning System kasama ang buong kagawaran ng edukasyon at kaagapay ang pamahalaan ng probinsya ng Biliran ay buong pusong inihahandog ang programang pangradyo na pinamagatang Als Radyo Eskwela. Ito ay inyong mapapakinggan tuwing Lunes at Biyernes sa ganap na alas 11 hanggang alas 11:30 ng umaga dito lamang sa 103.9 Radyo Natin FM. Walang makahahadlang, walang maiiwan sa Alternative Learning System. Tiyak na may pag-asa, sama-samang lilipad para maabot ang pangarap sa hamong kinakaharap. Patuloy na aangat, edukasyon para sa lahat, sulong edukalidad. Ito ang DepEd Als Radyo Eskwela ng Dibisyon ng Biliran.
Good morning, Biliran. Good morning, dear listeners and Alternative Learning System learners. This is your school on air, Als Radyo Eskwela, at 103.9 Radyo Natin FM, Naval, Biliran, airing every Monday and Friday of the week at exactly 11 to 11:30 in the morning. Today, we are very glad to take all of you, to another episode of our program, Als Radyo Eskwela, a program that will give you fresh ideas and new learnings. This is Teacher Lester of Als Kawayan District 2, your teacher for today. And I will be accompanied by one of my co-implementers here in the division of Biliran, no other than Teacher Dayan from Kawayan District 2. My morning greetings to you, Ma'am Dayan. Looking great today.
Thank you very much, Sir Lester, and good morning. And of course, my morning greetings to everyone who are listening with us today, especially to our beloved ALS learners and implementers of Biliran Division. It is such an overwhelming feeling to be part of this program, bringing you episode of another interesting topic, which is full of new ideas and informations needed or helpful to all of us. I would like to encourage everyone to stay with us for the whole program. Lend us your ears, your attention, and your time. Be with us for the whole session and listen attentively. You can also follow us on our live stream on the Facebook page of 103.9 Radyo Natin Naval, Biliran.
And before we start our session, make sure that you are all in a comfortable place and ready to stay with us for another learning session. I hope everyone have started the day with a good breakfast so you can last until our learning session end. So, give us now your full attention and we are good to go.
Now, get your pen and notebook and listen attentively to our discussion and jot down the important information that you will encounter for your reference later on our short activity or test.
Okay, for today's journey, we are going to determine the advantages and disadvantages of being self-employed. Let me say it again. Today, we are going to determine the advantages and disadvantages of being self-employed.
But before we go further, let me share with you this quotation. You are always self-employed. You are always the president of your own personal services or corporation, no matter where you might be working now. When you see yourself as self-employed, you develop the entrepreneur mentality, the mentality of a highly independent, self-responsible, self-starting individual. Instead of waiting for things to happen, you make things happen. You see yourself as the boss of your own life. You see yourself as completely in charge of your physical health, your financial well-being, your career, your relationships, your home, your car, and every element of your existence. This is the mindset of a truly excellent person. So, what's the connection of this quotation for today's lesson? Let us find out.
Now, before we hit on our topic this morning, we would like to remind everyone of our segment Tanong Ko, Sagot Mo. And this segment, all listeners will have the chance of winning 50 pesos worth of load. In order for you to win a 50 pesos load, sponsored by one of our generous sponsor coming all the way from Kawayan District 2, Sir Nonilon Espihon, all you have to do is listen to our discussion and answer the question that is being asked. Are you ready? Please listen attentively for you to answer the question correctly.
Dear listeners and learners, a situation will be read, and based on the situation given, you are going to determine if it's an advantage or disadvantage of being self-employed. Again, a situation will be read, and based on the situation given, you are going to determine if it's an advantage or disadvantage of being self-employed. Betsy is an online seller and owns a small store where she sells pre-loved clothes. Her working hours may be much longer and more irregular than someone who is a regular employee. Her business commitments may mean that she spends less time with her family and friends, or she struggles to switch off from her work or relaxation.
Now let me repeat the situation. Bitsy is an online seller and owns a small store where she sells pre-loved clothes. Her working hours may be much longer and more irregular than someone who is a regular employee. Her business commitments may mean that she spends less time with her friends and family, or she struggles to switch off from her work to relaxation.
Based on the given situation, Betsy works longer hours than usual. What can you say about it? Is it an advantage or disadvantage of being self-employed? Kindly text your answer to this number, 0998 216 6976, or send it to us through our comment box on the Facebook page of this station, so that we will know your thoughts on this matter. Again, kindly text your answer to this number, 0998 216 6976, or send it to us through our comment box on the Facebook page of this station.
Now let's start the discussion with our main topic. Learners, what is self-employment? When we say self-employment, it is a practice where the person works for self and not under any employer. Working for yourself can be in form of freelancing or owning a business.
That's right, Sir Lester. Self-employed person is his or her own boss and generates revenue based on the services that they offer. They are also working as freelancer who help the projects to be executed based on the expertise that they have to offer to the company. The services could range from financial help, technology related, content writing, recruitment, or any other services that you have expertise on it.
Well said, Ma'am Dayan. But don't you know that being self-employed has its advantages and disadvantages? Now, let us discuss each of them. Here are the advantages of being self-employed. First, you are your own boss. This means that you have full control of your business or enterprise. You would be more pleased with what you do and hence lead a content life personally. Number 2, you have more opportunities to earn. Being self-employed, You can earn more than what you can when you were a regularly paid employee, as the company's deductions are not included in your earnings and you get what you receive.
Third, there is less investment. You can save a lot of your daily expenses based on the work that you choose. You save on gas as you can work from the comfort of your home and thus avoiding the long travels to your workplace like you used to. One of the benefits of self-employment is that you can divide time for your family and profession without taking anything else for granted and maintain a good work-life balance. You can also save expensive daycare expenses that's add on to your daily needs.
And you have this what we call independence, control, and freedom from routine. Companies or individuals you work for are your clients, not your employees. And as clients, they can state what results are expected from you, but they do not direct your work. Of course, you want to satisfy your clients if you want to receive more works, favorable referrals, or better rates. But you are your own boss. You decide when, where, and how to work to get the job done.
The fifth advantage of being self-employed is that drama-free environment. We always love to work in a team as we get responsibility divided and hence also the work pressure. But does working remotely and being isolated from everyone sounds bad? You would be free from the loudspeakers of your team who are continuously over the phone talking out loud. You would not have to hear to the music during work hours as your colleague plays on them on his or her phone. And your friends will still be your friends no matter what.
And being self-employed have no worries about sick leave. If you are ill, then you don't have to worry about whether you would be getting sick leave or not. You can inform your clients regarding the health and take a day off from your work or resume a few hours later. You no longer must beg long explanations on why you were on leave and prove your point on the fact that you were really ill.
Alright, those were the 6 advantages of being self-employed. 1. You are your own boss. 2. More opportunities to earn. Number 3. There is less investment. 4. Independence, control, and freedom from routine. Number 5. Drama-free environment. And 6. No worries about sick leave.
Next, we will discuss the disadvantages of being self-employed. The disadvantages of being self-employed are paying more taxes. Even if you are not a sole person working as a freelancer, you would realize that freedom from the corporate world doesn't come with a price. You would end up paying a little more tax than you used to as a corporate employee, and you would be responsible for filing your taxes on time.
Number 2. No more paid leaves. There will be no more paid leaves for you. As a freelancer, if you are working on daily requirements and have taken few days off, then there's a possibility of you missing out those requirements, hence on the monthly payment. You need to keep in mind that as a freelancer, there is nothing called as paid leave.
Number 3, multitasking all the time. Since you are working as a freelancer, you will have all the responsibilities of getting the project, executing it, and closing it. You should be responsible from head to toe till you start employing other freelancers or employees to your business.
Number 4. Unsteady pay. There is no guarantee that every month you would be getting a minimum salary. Some days of months you will earn exceptionally well, while you can also end up with no payment at all as you had no projects in hand. Number 5. Socially, you are isolated. Being your own being your own comes at the price of being socially isolated. If you are working alone, then there would be no social gatherings like that of corporate jobs. Working alone might achieve your milestone, but celebrating with yourself is not inviting and exciting.
Another disadvantage of being self-employed is there is a lot distractions at home. Before getting comfortable working from you might want to think about the various distractions that come with it. If you have a child running around and urge to play with you might distract you off from your work. Your helpers making the noise of cleaning and other activities they do. And your doorbell ringing like an alarm after every hour. You might end up solving your personal issues more than your work issues.
So, those were the 6 disadvantages of being self-employed. Namely, paying more taxes, no more paid leaves, multitasking all the time, unsteady pay, socially you are isolated, and distractions at home.
Again, the 6 advantages of being self-employed are paying more taxes, no more paid leaves, multitasking all the time, unsteady pay, socially you are isolated, and distraction at home. Did you get it? Very good.
Self-employment comes with a benefit or an advantage of being your own boss. You can get to take calls and get clients based on what suits you. But every system comes with a problem or the disadvantage. You need to be aware of them to make you mentally strong whether you want to adapt to this setup of work.
And at this point of time, let us try to apply what you have learned from our discussion today. You determine the 6 advantages and 6 disadvantages of being self-employed and write it on a table style.
Again, you need to make a table and write the 6 advantages and 6 disadvantages of being self-employed. You may write your answers on a short bond paper. Do you understand? Great!
I believe you learned a lot today. And now, to make sure we on the right track during the whole episode and have captured the important information during our discussion, let us do a recap of the 6 advantages and disadvantages of being self-employed. The 6 advantages of being self-employed are: you are your own boss, more opportunities to earn, there is less investment, independence, control and freedom from routine, drama-free environment, and no worries about sick leave.
And the 6 disadvantages are paying more taxes, no more paid leaves, multitasking all the time, unsteady pay, socially you are isolated, and distractions at home. Are we good with that? Okay.
And now here is your final activity. Listen carefully to the situation and determine whether it is an advantage or disadvantage of being self-employed. Again, listen carefully to the situation and determine whether it is an advantage or disadvantage of being self-employed. You may write your answers on a short bond paper and wait for your ALS implementer to collect it on the following day for the checking and feedbacking of your output. Are you ready? Let's begin.
For number 1, Joy is having a hard time budgeting her money because she pays more taxes now than before when she was still a corporate employee. Is this an advantage or disadvantage? Again, Joy is having a hard time budgeting her money because she pays more taxes now than before when she was still a corporate employee. Is this an advantage or disadvantage?
Then number 2. Sarah is a freelancer. She saves a lot of her daily expenses and saves gas as she works at the comfort of her home, thus avoiding the long commutes to her workplace. Meaning to say, she has less investment. Is this an advantage or disadvantage? Again, Sarah is a freelancer. She saves a lot of her daily expenses and saves gas as she works at the comfort of her home, thus avoiding the long commutes to her workplace. Meaning to say, she has less investment. Is this an advantage or disadvantage?
For number 3, Cassie has a drama-free environment where she can't hear loudspeakers from her colleagues and who continuously talking over the phone loudly and can't hear music played by her office mate during work hours. Again, Cassie has a drama-free environment where she can't hear loudspeakers from her colleagues who continuously talking over the phone loudly and can't hear music played by her office mate during work hours. Is this an advantage or disadvantage?
Number 4. Joey got sick because he got lots of things to do. He has all the responsibilities of getting the project, executing it, and closing it. Meaning to say, he's been working from head to toe. Again, Joey got sick because he got a lot of things to do. He has all the responsibilities of getting the project, executing it, and closing it. Meaning to say, he has been working from head to toe. What do you think is this? Advantage or disadvantage of being self-employed?
For number 5, your mother cannot focus working because your younger brother wants to play with her even though she has lots of work to be done. Your helpers are very noisy cleaning the house and the doorbell is ringing after every hour. Again, your mother cannot focus working because your younger brother wants to play with her even though she has lots of work to be done. Your helpers are very noisy cleaning the house and the doorbell is ringing after every hour. What do you think is this? An advantage or disadvantage of being self-employed?
Now, let us check your answers. For number 1, the correct answer is disadvantage. Again, the correct answer of number 1 is disadvantage. And for number 2, advantage. For number 2, advantage. Then for number 3, the correct answer is advantage again. Again, advantage is the correct answer for number 3. For number 4, disadvantage. Disadvantage is the correct answer for number 4. And number 5, disadvantage. Again, the correct answer of number 5 is disadvantage.
There you have it. Who got a perfect score? Very good. For those who got a low score, don't worry because we still have a lot of discussions in the next episode. Just make sure that you will listen attentively, okay? Great!
Alright, before we end our session today, let us read the first response of our listeners from the question presented earlier about Betsy, an online seller, and owns a small store where she sells pre-loved clothes. Her working hour may be much longer and more irregular than someone who is a regular employee. Her business commitment may means that she spends less time with her friends and family, or she struggles to switch off from work to relaxation. She works longer hours than usual. What can you say about it? It is an advantage or disadvantage of being self-employed. According to Mika Ritenal from Vista Del Mar, her answer is disadvantage. You are correct. It is an example of disadvantage of being self-employed. Congratulations, Mamika Ritenal.
Congratulations, Mika Ritanal. Since you actively participated and you're the first who sent response or answer to our question during our segment, Tanong Ko Sagot Mo, you will receive 50 pesos load coming from Sir Nonilon Espihon of Kawayan District 2. Thank you so much, Sir Noni, for being generous. God bless you.
That's all for today. I hope you learned a lot from us, and before we bid goodbye, please always tune in to our educational morning radio show, Als Radyo Eskwela, every Monday and Friday of the week at 11 to 11:30 in the morning, only here at 103.9 Radyo Natin FM Naval Biliran. Once again, this is Teacher Lester from Kawayan District 2, which leaves you a message that if you don't build your dreams, someone will hire you to help build theirs. This is according to Tuni Gaskin.
And this is Teacher Diane saying, everyone is self-employed and your employer is you. This is according to Todd Stocker. Thank you. God bless and stay safe, everyone.
Ang Dibisyon ng Biliran Alternative Learning System, kasama ang buong kagawaran ng edukasyon at kaagapay ang pamahalaan